What if I said it is simpler than you may have imagined? Would you have believed? The other time I think you may have threw stones at me is if I said the time it's going to take you is equal to the duration of this video. Yeah, for then I become a liar. Welcome to the Mr. channel. I am Olabanjo Isaiah, and in today's video we're gonna be looking at step-by-step approach to the picture you are seeing right now. So the first thing I'm going to show to you is how to draw a straight line. Somebody will ask, how a straight line come into this design? You're gonna find out soon. How to draw straight lines with equal intervals. Yeah, I want to draw straight lines with equal intervals of 0.5 inch. What I'm going to do is on this straight line, I put my tape rule and I start marking points with intervals of 0.5 inch. That's half inch. Somebody asked what is interval. Interval is the distance between 2 points or lines. Okay, so I'm marking at 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch. I'll do that again on the same line but at another point. 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. This I'll do again at another point, making it 3. What's the reason behind this? To produce a straight line. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Now you are going to connect your dot with your straight ruler. You're gonna connect your dots, and you're gonna see that with the help of you marking the same intervals at different points on the same line, you're gonna be able to produce a very parallel lines. You see that? That's how you produce a perfect parallel lines. Okay, moving forward. So what I just showed to you now is what has happened on this material. It's not like that's how the material was made. It's a normal Irish material, plain, just like the regular material. I drew this on heat. Okay, so what we are going to do here, to the intervals. Here are straight lines with intervals of 0.5 inch, just like I've explained on the paper. Yeah, I think I have to bring my camera closely for this, that you may see the trick that is going to happen here. So what we are going to do to the intervals we have here, the straight lines, is to bisect one, or let me say divide into halves one, skip the next. Bisect one, skip the next. Bisect, skip, bisect, skip, bisect, skip. So we're gonna do till we are going to finish all of these lines. Okay, so how we're going to bisect that I'm going to show you now. This is how we are going to bisect the intervals. one of the interval has been bisected. You can see that it has been divided into equal halves. Remember I said that these intervals are of 0.5 inch, right? That is, by bisecting one interval, you have automatically produced on the other side a pleat that is of width 0.25 inch. Remember, 0.25 is half of 0.5 inch, right? So, good. So that is the idea behind these intervals. These intervals is being we choose 0.5 inch scale because we want a pleat of width 0.25 inch. Let's assume a case where we want pleat of 1 inch. Then we will be deciding interval of 2 inch. So by the time we bisect that interval, it will produce a pleat that is width of 1 inch. So that's the trick behind this. That's one of the tricks behind this. So we've successfully bisect one. Are we not going to bisect the next? No, we are skipping this. We are moving to this one. After bisecting this, we skip this. We move to the next. Skip this, move to the next. Skip this, move to the next. Move to the next. That's how we are going to do to whole of these lines. I hope I'm not boring you with my explanations. Please let me know in the comment section. Yeah. Now done with the pleats. Okay. Now we have a fabric acting like a spring. Now we're done with our pleat part. Okay. Now we are done with the straight lines and the interval stuff. I think that's much pretty trick to having fine pleats. Looking this from the view you are seeing it now, it looks like where we started, like where we have a plain fabric with straight lines drill on it, but it is not. As you can see, these are pleats. These are fine pleats. So before moving forward, these pleats are pleats made by hot press iron. It is not made by stitch. It is important we do something that will make it remain, and that is by introducing what we call interfacing. This is interfacing, ST to be specific. What we are going to do now is to hold the split in positions by coming to heat and interfacing. Yeah. So it is very important that you wet this for a better result. It is very important that you wet it for a better result. And while pressing this, I will advise you not to scrub, not to scrub like you would do when ironing my clothes. Just placing it like this is ideal, that you might not scatter that thing that you suffered so much for to put in a very nice position. I would advise you not to scrub. Just place your iron on it like this and you'll be happy with the outcome. Now I'm pretty sure that the fabric is now well glued to the interfacing. Yes, yes. Now glued, now glued, now glued. Now we have is fine seamless pleat of width 0.25 inch. Right? So the next we are going to be talking about is the manipulation aspect, how we're going to manipulate this fine pleats that we have here, how we're going to manipulate them. Someone asked what is manipulation. What is manipulate? Manipulate is an act of controlling or influencing the normal of something. You know, we know these to be fine straight pleats. By changing them to something that look like what you're seeing on your screen right now is an act of manipulation. So manipulate simply means to control, to influence, to change direction of something using hand. Okay, so that's that on the definition. So the next we are going to do now is to draw a straight line at any end, whichever is convenient for you, at any end of this fabric. I'll choose here. Okay, you can draw a straight line anywhere. So for the sake of visibility, I'll be using white chalk for the sake of the tutorial. I would have preferred to use a ball pen or a soft shade pencil, for I need something that will be very precise at marking. So but for the sake of visibility, we'll be using this, and not that I'm using any other chalk. If you should look at the hand of this chalk I have in my hands, it is also it can also be precise to an extent, but not like you using pencil or ball pen. So for the sake of visibility, I'll be using this white chalk. Yeah. Okay. So just like we did in the case of I hope you're seeing this. I hope you are seeing this well. So just like we did in the case of the interval, the line at the beginning of the class, so we are going to do to the pleats that we have now, whereby we perform a kind of action on one of the pleats, we skip the next, we perform, skip, perform, skip, perform, skip. Let me put this camera in a better position for this part. Yeah, I think this position is good. So what I'm going to do now is the on the first pleat, yeah, from the straight line I drew at the top, I'm going to mark 2 inch downward, 2 inch down. Okay, so just like the what I said about interval, like the distance between two lines, we are going to start marking points on these splits at intervals of 2 inch. That is, just like you mark 2 from the top here, we continue marking interval of 2. Okay. So moving forward, I'm going to skip this next pleat. I won't do that on this next pleat, but I'm going to the next to do what I just did here. Two 2-inch interval. I'll skip the next. I'll go to this. Okay, now done with the markings. Viewers, pardon me that I don't have my camera in a fixed position, for I'm very concerned about the visibility of every single part of the tutorial to you guys. That's why I'm moving the camera this way. Please pardon me if that inconvenience you in any way. Okay, so moving forward to the pleats that we skipped, we are going to perform the same task. We perform on them will also be performed on the skipped one also, but in a different way. So now to the skipped pleats. Remember that the first point that was marked here from the top here was 2, right? It's 2 inch, 2 inch, 2 inch, right? So on the next pleat, we are going to mark in such a way that every single point marked on those skipped pleats will be at the midpoint of the interval of the one that we first marked. That is, on the skip pleats, the first point I'm going to mark will be at 1 inch. Okay? At 1 inch. The skipped ones, 1 inch. Okay? So now we'll start marking points on them now. Also at interval of 2 inch. So by so doing, you and I gonna see that every point marked now will be at the mid of the intervals that we first marked. Okay? 2 inch. Okay. Now done with the markings. Okay. Are you picturing anything yet that look like what you saw on the thumbnail? So the next we are going to do now is on our sewing machine. So let's go straight to the machine. Okay, so what's going to happen here now is the manipulation of the splits. How are we going to do that? From the first point that we marked 1, we're gonna do something like this. Please, I want you to look closely. Are you seeing this? Yeah. Then you stitch. See this? We are going to do this again. I want you to remember that I said the width of the pleat we have here is 0.25, and I also want you to remember at the beginning of her that I said the intervals we have on the plain cloth, the intervals when we have just straight lines, I said the intervals are of 0.5 inch. That is to say, the wideness of the skipped intervals is equal to the size of 2 pleats here. That's why 2 pleats fit perfectly into the intervals that we have here. As you can see, 2 pleats fit in perfectly. Are you seeing this? It's important to note this. We're going to do this again. I will advise you to use a machine that you can manage its speed. I won't advise you to use industrial machine for this part. A manual machine like this is okay to control speed, to manage speed. But if you're comfortable with using industrial machine, yeah, you're good to go. And I will also advise you not to use a thread that match perfectly to the material you're using for design in color. I will advise you to use a kind of contrast color. Not that contrast, a color that is in the same family with that color but different. Example, orange and red, tea green and army green. Like the one I'm using now, I'm using lilac material, lilac purple for the design, and another kind of lilac thread for the manipulation. But for someone that will say, okay, I don't want a color contrast on my outfit, I just want something mono, something simple, using a thread that perfectly match is then a beautiful idea. You see? Okay, this is what we have here now. So we are going to the so now we are going to the pleat that its only interval started from 2. We are going to the pleats that their intervals started from 2. Let's start from the top here. Let's start from the top here. Okay, so let's come to this. Are you seeing this? So this is the progress so far. Okay, and you're gonna notice something unusual about one of my finger here. That's the reason why you are advised not to use industrial machine. In spite of this being a machine that I think I can manage its speed in making design like this, I was not careful enough to protect this finger. But it's fine. Not that it must happen to you in the course of doing it, but I would advise you to be extra careful. Please be extra careful. So moving forward. Now I'm going to say a big congratulations to us for the outcome you are having right now on the table. So the next we're going to do is to just for beautification, to make this look more beautiful, we are going to press it with our iron. The master of all to making this kind of design is determination, persistence, mindset. Believe me, the time required to make this design is of no comparison to the duration of this video. To be frank with you, it is of no comparison to the duration of the video. Let me show something to you. You will agree with me that the number of stitch we have here, is more than 200. How do we check that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 on the row. On the column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 times 11. You're gonna see that what we have on the table here is of no comparison to the duration of this video. You see? To make this gonna take you nothing less than 5 hours or more. So in the next part of this video, that I'm going to promise you guys that I won't keep you waiting, we are going to be discussing how to insert our designs here into our fabric, just like you're seeing right now on the screen. Please, if you find the content of this video intriguing, if it had values to you, please give this video a thumbs up, and also consider clicking the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell, that you might get notification every time I drop a new content like this. Thank you very much for watching. And one more thing before we go. One more thing. It's very important that you knit your stitch with lighter. It's very important you do something like this at the end. Very, very important.